Welcome students of Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College. Students, I am back with a part 2 of your second chapter, Mechanical Properties of Fluids. In this part 2, we are going to deal with the application of the Pascal's law, which we have done in earlier part 1. I would be dealing with two more new topics, that is the surface tension and surface energy. Let me begin on with the last part of your Pascal's law where the applications were left around. Now, one of the applications of the Pascal's law is hydraulic lift. As you could see in the diagram, is a presentation of two containers which is having the pressure P1 and P2. It is provided with the green color pistons which you could see, and the area which are covered by these are area 1, A1 and A2. When I talk about the forces which are acting on these pistons, it would be related to F1 and F2. Let us consider a tank containing a fluid which is fitted with the two pistons. You could see the cross-sectional area and there is an interconnected pipe between them. When we talk about the force which is applied F1 on a smaller piston, the piston moves in the downward direction. It will generate a pressure which could be given by capital F1 divided by capital A2. This energy is transmitted undiminished to the bigger piston, and a force which is applied, that is the F1, becomes equal to pressure multiplied by the area 2. Well, let me explain this in a derivational form to you all. The hydraulic lift is basically used to lift a very heavy object using a small force. That is the basic use of hydraulic lift. As seen in the diagram, a tank is containing the fluid which is fitted with the two pistons. If I apply the force on a smaller piston, it will generate a pressure which will be transmitted undiminished to the bigger piston F2. So, the formula would be written as F2 is equal to F1 multiplied by the ratio of area 1 to area 2. Thus, a heavy load can be placed on the second piston and can be moved up or down by applying a small force on your piston S1. So this is basically the principle of hydraulic lift. An example of the application of Pascal's law is hydraulic brakes. Students, as you could see in the diagram, you could see the four cylinders which are called as slave cylinders. It is represented by A2 as could be seen in the diagram. There is one more cylinder in between which is known as the master cylinder and it is represented by A1. The green colored paddle is called as the brake paddle, and all these cylinders are interrelated by the hydraulic tubes. So this gives you a schematic diagram of the hydraulic brakes. Let us move on to how does the hydraulic brakes actually function and where it is used. Hydraulic brakes is basically used in the vehicles in order to stop the vehicles or make the speed slower. So, by pressing the brake paddle, the piston of the master cylinder is pushed in the forward direction. The piston, as you have seen in the diagram, in the slave cylinder pushes in the forward direction, which maintains the volume of the oil constant. So, it pushes the frictional pad against the rotating disc, thus causes the vehicle to slow down or stop, and the pressure is transmitted undiminished and the force is given by the formula F2 is equal to F1, which is again multiplied by the ratio of A1 by A2. This is quite similar to the hydraulic lift. So these were the two applications of the Pascal's. After the application, students, let us proceed on to the measurement of pressure. The instrument which is used is a mercury barometer, which you could see out in the diagram. You could see a tube immersed in the tumbler which is filled with mercury, and there is a small vacuum which is called as Torricelli's vacuum. One of the first barometers was made by an Italian scientist named Torricelli. The gap is created between the surface of the mercury in the glass tube and it does not contain any air inside it. That is why it is called as Torricelli's vacuum. The pressure which is created out here is given by the formula that the pressure at the point B is equal to the pressure at the point A with an addition of the height of the mercury which has entered the tube multiplied by the density of the mercury multiplied by the gravity which is felt on the mercury. Now you would be wondering about the pressures or the point C which you could see in the diagram, that is nullified and it becomes equal to 0. There is one more instrument which measures the pressure and that is known as open tube manometer. As you could see in the diagram, student, there is a U-shaped tube attached to a circle which is having a container called as D. One of the arms of the manometer is open and the atmosphere and the other is connected to the container D. The pressure at the point B and C are same. According to the Pascal's law, the manometer measures the gauge pressure in the container D. And this is given by the formula P minus P0 is equal to H rho G, where H stands for the height which is being seen in the U-shaped tube and the density is the density of the mercury which is going to rise and fall and finally multiplied by the gravity which is felt by the liquid. So this completes the measurement of the pressure. Let us move on to the different concepts which are related to the molecular theory of the surface tension. So far, students, we have studied about the properties of the fluid. There is one more property which is called as buoyancy or a floating property. Now this is created by a term which is called as surface tension. Now you could see a circle around here which is showing the pressure felt on all sides of the bubble or the sphere of the molecule which is formed in the liquid. I would be now explaining you the behavior of the three molecules which you could see in the tumbler filled with the water. There are the three cases where you could consider the molecule A which is dipped totally inside the water, the molecule B which is floating 3/4 on the water, and the molecule C which is halfway where it is in connection with the air medium as well as the water medium. So what we could see around is when we consider all these three molecules, A is well inside, B is just below the surface and C is on the surface. The sphere of influence of molecule A lies completely inside the liquid. When I talk about the net cohesive force acting on the molecule, the A is 0. When I talk about the molecule B, students, the B gets attracted inside the liquid by the cohesive forces of the liquid. Thus, the net downward resultant unbalanced cohesive force acts on the molecule, trying to pull it well inside the liquid. Let me move on to the third molecule, which is upper half lying in the air and the lower half lying in the liquid, but the number of the molecules in a sphere of influence is very small as compared to the liquid molecules. As a result, the C gets attracted inside the liquid molecules within the liquid. Therefore, the C experiences net downward resultant unbalanced cohesive forces. Various concepts that I have described in the diagram, let me tell in details to you all. The first is the intermolecular forces, that is the cohesive force and the adhesive force. The force of attraction between the two molecules of the same substance is called as cohesive force. This property is called as cohesion. When I talk about the adhesive force, it is the force of attraction between the two molecules of the different substances which is called as adhesive force. For example, it is the attraction between a water and a solid molecule. Let me talk about the second concept, that is the range of molecular force. The maximum distance up to which the intermolecular forces are effective is called as range of molecular attraction. It may be somewhere equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meters in solids. Next, I talk about a sphere of influence, an imaginary sphere with which a molecule at its center and the radius equal to the molecular range is called as the sphere of influence. Let us move on to the last topic, that is the surface film, which shows the molecularity theory of fluids. It is the surface layer of a liquid with the thickness equal to the range of the intermolecular force. With this, I complete the various concepts related to. Let me move on to two different concepts, that is surface tension and surface energy. Students, in this diagram you could see out here are the perpendicular lines, and there is a single line which is passing through the molecule of the liquid. The surface tension is nothing but the tangential force acting per unit length on both sides of an imaginary line drawn on the free surface of the liquid. So I write capital T is equal to capital F divided by the length. Let us talk about the surface energy. The extra energy of the molecules in the surface layer is called as the surface energy of the liquid. The last topic for part 2 of properties of fluid is angle of contact. Let me talk about the angle of contact. It is the angle between the tangent drawn to the free surface of the liquid and the surface of the solid at the point of contact. The two diagrams which you could see out here, students, one is showing a concave meniscus. Meniscus is nothing but the line or the surface layer of the liquid. So concave meniscus is shown by the liquids which partially wets the solid. And the second diagram shows you the convex meniscus, where the liquid do not wet a solid at all. The concave meniscus shows the angle of the contact to be an obtuse angle, whereas the convex meniscus shows the angle of contact to be an acute angle. This we will discuss in details in the part 3 of your chapter 2. Let us move on to the assignment questions. The questions are as follows. Explain in brief the working of the hydraulic lift. Explain in brief the working of the hydraulic brakes. What are the ways of measurements of pressure? Explain the various concepts of molecular theory of fluids. In that, you are going to describe the range of molecular forces, sphere of influence, cohesive, adhesive, and intermolecular forces. We move on to the last, that is define surface tension, surface energy, and angle of contact. As usual, you are going to refer for your e-text to the link mentioned out here. Please prepare notes with the given assignment questions. Thank you, students.